What up, Fantasy World? Back again, week 9 waiver ads. We got a lot of buys this week and not a whole lot of options.
A lot of buys this week, yeah.
Yeah, we
Quarterbacks.
got. Yeah,
hmm
it's looking like a dud this week on the waiver options, and which is unfortunate because some big names, big teams this week with the Rams, Falcons, Saints, and the Bengals. Bengals not so
Yeah,
much, but
yeah.
still another team.
It is a team at this point.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess we should just hop right into the slim pickings that there are. Um, Starting with quarterback, top guy on my list is um, big fan favorite Gardner Minshew. He's he's just over that threshold at like 52, 51%, but I think he's worth mentioning because I think he should be rostered more than he is,
Yeah.
and he's just been really consistent this season. He's scored at least 16 points in all of his games except one time this season, including the game that he came off the bench, and pretty impressive. So he's definitely a viable start if you need one this week.
It would work out for me. Yeah, definitely always anytime we can mention Gardner Minshew. Always love it. But just throwing out a couple more names out there. Of course, Ryan Tannehill spoke on him last week, but Derek
Mm-hmm.
Carr has been quietly performing.
Yeah,
Has two
had a
TD
great game.
passes in his last couple of games. Some easy matchups coming up: Detroit, Cincinnati, Jets, Kansas City. Could get you by more than 1 week. So, Derek
And
Carr.
not so long ago, he was wasn't he like an MVP candidate?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He's got the talent.
yeah. No, what was going on that year? But um,
I don't know. It's crazy. It was good for the Raiders. I love the Raiders. So
but Cam Newton is also another won't start for another week. I think they're gonna move on from Cam Newton. At least for the till the end of the year, he's gonna sit. Um, but yeah,
you
Derek.
saying they're gonna move on from Cam Allen or Cam Newton?
Personally, yes, I do think they're gonna move on. They're gonna get rid of Cam Newton in the offseason. Um, yeah, I would. I totally would see that coming.
Because I had him on my list for pickups this week
I don't think he's playing this week.
because no, I mean for just the future, just kind of more of like a preemptive strike pickup. Because after the bye, after this week and then the bye in week 10, their schedule gets pretty easy, and
Yeah,
he's got great matchups, and Cam Newton's talented, so I
wasn't
do
too
think
long ago.
when
He
he
was an
comes
MVP.
back,
Callan. He was an
true,
MVP, wasn't it? Wasn't he?
yeah.
Uh,
Um, I just think when he comes back healthy, I feel like they're gonna put him back in. That's just my feeling, but
Indeed, yeah, but
I have
something
to
to
wait and see on
monitor.
that.
If you have the
No,
roster
definitely.
spot and you can go with it, sure, it's worth it if he does come back for the schedule he has coming up. But just not a believer in
Yeah,
him. I think they'll
I
move
feel
on.
it. One last guy is Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
I know he didn't have the bounce back game that we had hoped last week, but you still like the schedule that he's got coming up with the Dolphins twice, the Giants, the Bengals, the Redskins, the Raiders. It's
yeah.
and he's shown signs of promise, so it's not like the talent's not there. So it's
I don't
and
think it's there.
like I said, this is slim pickings this week, so this is like a desperation pickup too. This isn't. I'm saying he's a top guy to go get, but you may be in a bind this week,
hmm
and he's got a good matchup against the Dolphins this week. So
I'll tell you who I would rather have Sam Darnold than Baker Mayfield. I would rather have Sam
you'd
Darnold.
rather,
Than,
yeah,
just
absolutely,
anytime I mention
absolutely.
that boy is horrible. Um, so yeah, there's definitely worse out there that are on people's rosters. So, Sam Darnold.
That's what I'm saying. He might be worth it to your situation, your team needs, depending on what you got going.
Yeah.
That's all I got. That's all I got at quarterback.
Yeah.
Like
Too many missing this week. Yeah.
Yeah. Moving on to running backs, top guy for me is Jalen Samuels. You know, James Conner going out of the game last night, Benny Snell going out of the game last night. Those two are looking iffy. Playing on a short week after playing on Monday night. So it's looking like Samuels is probably going to play this week, so he's going to get the most of the workload. So I think he's the top guy that you should be targeting.
I do think, for what it's worth, one guy that has to be mentioned is Mark Walton, rather.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Running back of the Dolphins, they just traded Kenyon Drake, so now he is officially the number one bell cow, although it is on the Miami Dolphins.
But
Quietly,
starting running back in the NFL. So.
Yeah, still starting back running back in the NFL. If you have a chance to get him, definitely snatch him up. His rest of season also gets a lot easier than against what it was against Pittsburgh last week. But yeah, Mark Walton.
Yeah, no, he was my second guy off the list too, for sure. He was actually my number one guy off the list until the game yesterday. After James Conner went out and Ben Snell, that's when Jalen Samuels kind of overtook that spot for me. But another guy I have on my list is Darius Geis, who's hopefully coming back in. He won't be coming back this week, but this is more of for future week 11. The Redskins are probably not going to be looking to lean on Adrian Peterson the rest of the season. You know, with that 1-7 record, they are probably going to start looking to Darius Geis to start getting him touches because he's young. He needs to start getting looks.
But
so
very low key. Don't they also have Bryce Love coming back at the same time? Do you even know about Bryce Love?
I don't even know who Bryce Love is.
You don't even know who Bryce Love is? He was a Heisman candidate coming from Stanford, but he blew out his knee last year. Could have came out as a sophomore, could have came out as a junior, but he was a Stanford running back, and of course they all stay and get their degrees because you don't go to Stanford to be one and done, two and done. There's better schools for that route.
True.
But yeah, Bryce Love also something to look into. I think you'll start hearing his name a lot more. But yeah, just throwing that out there since you mentioned Darius Geis. So, but go ahead.
I've honestly not heard Bryce Love's name at all.
Look him up
at all.
He's YouTubeable.
No, I'm not saying he's not real.
No, he was a Heisman.
I don't follow college. I don't follow college as much as I do NFL. So
I think he barely got edged out by Lamar Jackson for the Heisman. Lamar Jackson's last year, barely. He was a really good running back at Stanford. They made Stanford forget about Christian McCaffrey real quick. Yeah,
but ever since he came to the NFL, I haven't heard anything. Usually,
he's drafted this year and he's been injured. He's been known to be not. He came out. They drafted him. He was already known injured. He's just now getting healthy.
So, do you know when he's expected to be back?
I think coming out of that soon, next week or two off of IR. Also, when players can come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, look him up.
Something to look at there. Yeah. Another guy that I have more of a handcuff is Darrell Henderson. He's slowly getting more work over in the Rams. With Gurley, dealing with the knee thing. You just don't know really what's happening with Gurley, and he may end up taking over that backfield. Who knows? But he's definitely at least a handcuff for sure. Um, Another handcuff guy I'm big on is Alex Madison for
Yeah,
the Vikings.
I knew
He
you were gonna mention.
he's just gets a lot of work over there, even with Cook.
Even with Cook, he gets in the game.
If Cook goes down, dude,
No,
he's a league
no, yeah,
winner.
he's day one, but yeah, there's plenty though. It depends on how your roster is built out. Are if you have 3, 4 running backs that you're okay with, and you have that roster spot, and it's worth saving in hope of, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, but the big plays, I don't know, yet to be seen. Dalvin Cook's it's still in there way too much. Still, Dalvin Cook's backfield is how I
yeah.
always felt
No,
there. So, but yeah,
absolutely,
if you have the
definitely.
roster spot, and it's worth
These
it.
are definitely names. These are more names to fill in
Mm-hmm. He's like,
for the
yeah. If
for the
anything
show
ever
because
happens, he's a
yeah.
number one.
But definitely the biggest guys you should be looking towards, I think, are Samuels and Walton this week.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, if you can
Definitely,
snatch him up.
yeah. Um, Moving on to receivers. Number one guy I have is Auden Tate. He just targets for him just keep piling up. He had 13 this past week, and targets that's key in fantasy. So
Yeah,
um,
especially in PPR leagues. That's hope. Yeah.
yeah, no, definitely it'll be something to monitor once AJ Green gets back. But until then, I think Auden Tate, he's getting a lot of work, and he's definitely worth the ad. He's only rostered in 30% of leagues, and I think that should be a little bit more.
For sure. Definitely a lot of wide receiver shifting going on with Emmanuel Sanders and Sanu. Still jury out on picking up any one of those two, except for Emmanuel Sanders did look good, but he's probably already taken in your league anyway. Really, the only one I was thinking of is right on the threshold is Philip Dorsett. I mean, there's obviously targets
Yeah.
available since the release of Josh Gordon, or put on IR, and have yet to release him. But Philip Dorsett definitely has a high ceiling potential. Any day he could be Tom Brady's favorite and go off. Right there on our threshold. And other than that, really, the only one I thought to mention was Devontae Parker. Quietly for the Dolphins, has been getting it done.
Yeah.
You just know they're the
Talented.
Dolphins. They're going to be passing a lot, win or lose. If they ever do win,
Fitzmagic has the magic sometimes, so
when he wants to, when he wants to. But yeah, Devontae Parker quietly has been getting it done really all season, and definitely think with their schedule coming up, he is more than worthy of a pickup. Only on game script and yeah, pass production.
oh, I agree, definitely. A couple deeper league ads that you should consider is Demaryius Thomas, only rostered in 6% of leagues. He's got 27 targets over the last 4 weeks. The Jets will likely be thrown in a lot of situations, so that bodes well for him. Yeah, another guy, Josh Reynolds. Cooks went out, got another concussion. That's his second one this month. That's multiple concussions now that he's had in his career. He's going to see a specialist now for that, so who knows how long he's going to be out. And the Rams, they use 3 receivers sets, like the most in the NFL. So Josh Reynolds is kind of like a wide receiver handcuff in a sense for Brandon Cooks when he'll be gone. So he's another guy I think that you should look at. And he kind of just went off last game. So just another kind of deeper league consideration for now.
Oh yeah, if we're digging that
It
deep,
may turn into yeah.
If we're
Sorry.
digging that deep, no, you're fine. If we're digging that deep, one guy I know we mentioned a couple of weeks ago quietly without actually mentioning him here, but I'd go with Allen Lazard, Green Bay Packer. And my debate there is I could still see them keeping Devontae Adams, and Allen Lazard could very easily slide into the all-day number 2 spot. That's what I was trying to say a couple of weeks ago. Was the potential is there for him, and it has been there last week. Yeah, he both outsnapped both Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Geronimo Allison, and 5 catches. It's going to have. It's just a big bot, huge guy, 6'5".
No, definitely.
Just
And
mhm,
and speaking on that, I would drop Valdez Scantling,
mhm,
to be honest, because he keeps seeing less and less targets over the weeks, and
mhm.
I would rather have Lazard at this point, to be honest.
No, the potential is definitely just the
Um,
size. Aaron Rodgers would know what to
yeah,
do with that,
definitely.
especially down the stretch once the weather starts getting cold and it's just
A
a
little
bit too
colder,
big of
yeah,
a target. Yeah, just cutting across the middle. Alan Lazard, way to go there. Um, yeah,
definitely.
just off the top of my head, I know we're gonna dig that deep, but Alan Lazard,
Always like to throw a little deeper considerations for
balls deeper.
we do like to go balls deep on here. So guess we can move on to the best position in fantasy, tight ends.
The thickest.
um, Jesus, where do I start? Dallas Goedert, I still like him.
Mm-hmm.
22% of leagues. He's scored in 2 straight games now, and he seems to be a co-starter with Ertz and just has outproduced Ertz lately. And he may turn out to be the guy there. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Who
Quietly, if
knows?
he's still available, I know you and me both been high on. Well, at least I've been high on. But Jason Witten, he's just now reaching the threshold of 50% owned. He just is constant product, at least 5, 6, 7 points every game, if not upwards of 10 points. Hasn't had a huge breakout game yet, but
He gets like 4 or 5 targets
yeah,
at least a
every
game,
game,
and
every game,
one or two of those is going to be in the red zone at
definitely.
least.
And
So it's definitely solid. Um,
mm,
Another guy that I keep talking about every week, Chris Herndon. I know he hasn't come back yet,
mm,
but he's got the great talent.
is this the
And
week?
is this the week? We'll see. Uh, but Ryan Griffin, who was there, just went off for the Jets, the tight end there. So it seems that Herndon can come in and be productive in that spot if Ryan Griffin just did. So I think Herndon's probably a more talented player,
Mm-hmm.
but again, he's got to come back. He's got to come back and got to see what he can do. So
Digging a little deeper down the list, one I'd go with Darren Fells for the Houston Texans.
oh yeah, he
Yeah,
was next on my list too.
yeah, yeah. Um, Up and down, definitely shouldn't have been drafted, but definitely should just be a pure pickup for you. Only owned in God, not even 30% of league, 21% of leagues right now.
Yeah,
But just has
massive target.
huge big boy. And that's really what they need when Hopkins and Stills aren't open deep. That big boy running across the middle.
And
Yeah.
he's in an offense fueled by a top tier quarterback. So
Mm.
you like that. He's scored 5 touchdowns this season already. Like that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, he might be more worth considering over Goddard and Herndon. Honestly, he's been more productive.
I don't know over Goddard, but Herndon definitely, only because Herndon hasn't even played the
Well,
game.
Herndon still hasn't come. Yeah, he hasn't even played yet, so
I would definitely
he's
pick
more
him.
speculative.
But Goddard's
Uh,
been paving the way.
yeah, he has. He's gonna. I feel bad for Ertz owners because like that's rough. Like
It's
you
rough.
drafted him probably as top 3 tight end.
As we always say around here, you got to handcuff your tight ends, man.
It's the key to winning the championship.
That's the key.
Oh man.
Ray would.
One last guy.
Ray would buy it.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. One last guy I wanted to mention at the spot is our league favorite is Jonnu Smith. Rushing in 10% of leagues, and yeah, he went to work this week. And if Walker misses more time, he's going to continue to get work done. And they drafted him second round pick or second round, second round pick, and draft him there for a reason. So
Delaney
seems like
Walker
he could be a
cannot
big
play
part of this
forever.
offense. No, he cannot. He's getting old, and definitely Jonnu Smith definitely should be on your lineups if you're in Dynasty because he's gonna be the tight end on that team soon.
Indeed.
So.
Yeah, and tight ends, man. That's about all I would go with if they're available. Definitely Darren Fells should be widely available.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that would make him my pick.
I think it's. Yeah, I think as far as tight ends, I think it's time to move on from OJ Howard too. I know we were kind of maybe holding on because of the rumors of the trade, maybe the Patriots.
Yep.
But now it's past the trade deadline. That's not happening. So I think OJ Howard's dump spill.
Yep.
So. But yeah.
Yeah. Nothing really to say. Stream a defense. If you want to get into defenses.
Yeah, we can get into defenses.
I got nothing for you.
There. I didn't add any defenses to my list. I didn't really consider that. I don't even know if it's really the Jets. Who are playing the Dolphins?
Very much. Well, I hope that's